Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial I'll be showing you how to make my little wrap dress that I have designed. This dress will fit both the standing and the sitting Labubu. And this pattern can be found at my Etsy shop and the link for that is in the description. So today's demonstration I'll be doing it in this nice spot fabric, and with your pattern that you will get, the one thing that you need to adjust is you need to add on the skirt length. So just from this point here you need to add on 30 centimeters, and I think that will be approximately about 45 centimeters in total. The fabrics for this dress are more suitable to a lightweight cotton. A medium cotton still will be okay, but lightweight is still a better choice. Okay, so let's begin. So now you can see I've added that extra piece to our pattern. So that now will measure 45 centimeters in total. So now I've gone and cut out our pieces. So I've got one skirt, we've got two backs and two pairs of fronts, like that. So two backs, two pairs of the front, and one skirt. So now we're going to stitch our pieces together. So what we're going to do is place our shoulder points together. Pin. There. Alright, so now we're going to stitch our shoulder seam. So we're just going to stitch 5mm across all the tops. So now I've gone and done all the shoulder seams like that, and I've gone and pressed them open flat on both. So our next step is we're going to put these two pieces together and join them up at the shoulder seams. Just gonna put a pin there. Again at the other. And just around the neck. Like that. So our first, oops, at the back there. So our first bit we're going to sew, first we're going to go around the neck and the front. So we're just going to sew 5mm right around the neck and coming back down to the front. So now we've stitched around the neck all the way around to the front, 5mm. And the next step we're going to do is we're going to stitch around our armholes the same. So 5mm all the way around our armholes. So now gone and stitched around our armholes. Now we're just going to take our nice sharp scissors and we're going to clip around the really sharp curved edges to help release seam. I'm going to clip around all the way around there. and then we're going to clip around the neck, a little bit at the front. That. So we've just clipped it around, as you can see, around all those points. And then the next thing, you're going to grab a safety pin, and we're going to put it in the points of the front, like that. And then we're going to take that, we're going to open it up, and we're going to push it through the armholes, or the shoulder seams. So I'm just going to pull that through. The other one. Open that up. Pull it through. Pull all that work through now, neaten it up. Like that. So now it's turned inside out. Now what you want to do is go and press. You need to roll out all your seams or your armholes. Make sure they're all nice on top of each other. It's a nice even edge. I'm going to press all the bodice. So now we've gone and pressed our bodice, so pressed all the seams out like that. And our next step we're going to do is we're going to join our little side seams. So we're just going to open up that front little bit and open up the back. Just going to join like that, as you can see. It's easy just to push one piece of the side seam forward and one back to make it easier. Make it nice and flat once you've sewn it. So I'm just going to put a pin there. Just going to sew 5mm through that, and we're going to repeat the other side. So now I've gone and sewed those little side seams. Now we've got a very nice finished little bodice like that. All the side seams are nice, neatly done and hidden away. So next we're going to work on our skirt. So the first thing you want to do is you want to, because it's such a big area, you want to zigzag around the sides and just wound down one bottom edge as well. So we're going to zigzag all the way, or you can use fray stop all the way around the skirt piece. So now I've gone and zigzagged around the edge, just the sides and the bottom. So our next step is we're going to fold over 5mm on each of our ends, and we're going to just stitch down neatly in that, stitch them down, and then after that step you're just going to fold up the hem 5mm, and you're going to stitch that down as well. So then you'll have the front bits openings of the skirt, and the hem will be finished as well. So now we've gone ahead and done all the seams on the hems of the skirt, so this the bottom hem and the two side hems. So our next step is we're going to sew on 2 rows of gather. So our gathering, we're going to put a first row 5mm from the top, so our first row will be there, and our second row will be 15mm from the top. So the gathering stitch is just a longer stitch, so it'll be like a 4mm length stitch to help you pull the gathers through. So I'm going to do that. So now I've gone and done our gather stitch. I've done mine in a bit of darker thread so you can see where I've stitched it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to fold in half and find the center back. Just do that. You can put a pin there, or you can just use a fabric marker if you like. So I'm just going to pop a pin there, so that's the center back. That'll line up with the center back of our bodice. So now we're going to grab on our wrong side of our skirt, we're going to grab the 2 top threads, and we're just going to gently pull. So just pull till you get like an approximation of the length, and then we're just going to do the other side. That. So you can just even it out if it's relatively close. You can just even out the gatherings. Fingers. Just the other side. Like that. Now we're going to attach it to our bodice. So I've just notched where my center back is. You can find it by just matching up your side seams, and you can find the center back like that. Right, so we're going to line the back in to that back. Just put a pin there, pull in some of the gathers, and we're going to align the front. So the seam allowance for attaching the skirt is 1 centimetre. So we want to make sure that that alignment there is 1 centimetre. See, so the skirt lines up with that point of that front is 1 centimetre. Just going to put a pin there. And we're going to do that to the other side. Like that. Now we can alter the gathers if we've got, so I need a little bit more, so I'm just going to pull that through, which is actually going to put a pin there so that the gathers are nice on that side. I'm going to do it to the other side. Even it out. Like that. So I need to pull it in a bit more at the front. Try and get as much to the front as you can. Like that, and put a pin. Do that to the other side. So you just want to move those gathers. Push them all the way to the front. Like that. Okay, so now we've attached our skirt and we're going to do a seam allowance of 10 mil, 1 centimetre, all the way right through the middle of our two gathering lines. That. So now I've gone and stitched our skirt onto our bodice like that. And as you can see, my fabric is very fraying a lot, so I am going to zigzag that edge, cut all that fraying away. And I'm also going to cut off those tips like that, and the other tip at the other end. Just cut away any of the fray, and then I'm just going to zigzag that edge before I take out the gathering stitches. So now I've just zigzagged the top of that edge through there, and now you want to start with the bottom gathering thread, just grab it and you're just going to pull it out like that. Wrong side as well, grab that thread, just smooth out any of the holes. So with that other gathering thread, if it isn't matching to your fabric, you can just leave it. It still will help control or keep those gathers flat, as you can see here. So I'm just going to leave mine in because it won't be seen, and it's just a sample to show you how to make. So I'm just going to clip out those threads. That. Like that. So I'm going to give that bodice a nice press along that edge, and our last step will be attaching the Velcro. Right, so we're almost finished. So the next step we're going to do these little points. See little points at either end. What we're going to do, we're going to fold them down like that. See? So just folded that point in like that. And we're going to come back to our right side of our dress, and we're just going to groove stitch. So we're going to put a stitch to hold that flat ball just in there in matching thread, just to hold those points down flat. On the other side as well, just folding it back and just a little groove stitch right in between your skirt. Just gonna stitch that little point down. So now we've stitched, just stitch those little points down. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to attach our Velcro. If you want to use silver snaps, you can. I just find at that point doesn't seem flat. I think Velcro is a better option. So you can see here, this one here, you can see it's just like turns into these two little triangles, and it just sits really nice and flat. Helps that, especially that point, to sit nice and flat. So I've got 3 centimeter lengths of some micro Velcro. So we're going to take our soft loopy side, and we're going to place it on the right side of our dress. We're going to do this bit first. So we are going to get a pin. We're going to place that, so we're going to line up that edge with the edge of our skirt. So we're going to just top stitch around there a little bit, then come down into our skirt edge to secure that piece of Velcro in place. So now I've gone and stitched around our little piece of Velcro. You can see here, there, that it's stitched on. If you don't like the way that stitching is, you can always keep stitching around the whole neck and just do a little top stitch to help blend it in, or you can just hand stitch that little section in there if you want. I find that if your fabric is quite busy, then you don't really notice it. So you can see here, she's put stitches there, but it's not terribly noticeable. Even on the lemon version, you can barely, it just blends in so well. But it's just a personal choice, whichever you would like to finish it off. So now I've gone and done that. So now we're going to clip that Velcro back right on the edge, like that. And we're also going to clip that back to that point as well. Good, so now we just have this nice little triangle piece. Tidy that up as well. Tiny, just a little triangle piece of Velcro on that front. Now, what we're going to do is just take this one off of her. I find Labubus in different ones, chest are always a different size. They're not always quite consistent. So one might feel a bit bigger, one might feel a bit smaller. So this is a good opportunity to just fit your little dress to the size that you want. So you can make the chest, pull it in a bit tighter. You can just fit fit tested on your Labubu to where you want, or how tight you want it to be. So I'm going to fit it to her. So I'm just going to line those fronts up, and I'm just going to take a pin. And I'm just going to carefully just pin where that finishes, like that. So that's the edge of that little Velcro piece there. So I'll take it off. And we're going to get our hook side of our Velcro, and we're going to line it up with that edge just on the inside of that pin. And then we're going to stitch just around. You're going to groove stitch it in there. Because this is transparent, it makes it such an easier process. I'm going to stitch there, I'm going to stitch that down there, and then we're going to come back and stitch the top. Okay, so now I've gone and stitched on our last piece of Velcro. So now we're just going to trim back the edges, because this is such a harder piece. You can just round out the corners a bit so it's not so spiky. I'm going to really get into there. Around like that. Now we have attached our little Velcro pieces, so we can fit it back on her again, just like so. Now that's all finished. Thanks for watching my tutorial. I hope you enjoyed my pattern. Please leave a comment below on how your project went, and like and subscribe for future content. Thanks. Bye.